channel. Hey, you know what time it is, No Press Fam? Welcome everyone to another episode of The Beatdown, the segment and channel where two worlds collide. I am your host, Class, and today we're going to do something a little different. But before we get into that, if you guys like our content, you know what you can do. You can turn on your notifications to get the latest episodes, which we do every Wednesday. You can like, you can subscribe, you can leave a comment, or you can share with your friends. So let's get back to it. Shout out to SR Striker for this recommendation. It was actually a very interesting one. So I'm just going to give you my feedback about this first. First off, I thought at first there was no question that the Justice League had this in the bag. That was my first reaction to Ultron versus the Justice League. And then started looking into the stats, started finding out I was sadly mistaken. That Ultron is actually durable and very strong and a formidable foe to face. So instead of doing the old traditional, trying to get all these arguments put in one episode, I decided I'm going to do a two-part series. This first part is going to be the argument towards Ultron beating the Justice League. Now I'm going to explain some of the strategies that Ultron could do during against them and the process of elimination. So let's get things started, shall we? So let's start off with the obvious Amazo argument. So Amazo was a challenge for the Justice League, not for the whole team, but for almost the entire group, the entire roster. So Amazo it's not as strong and it's not created with adamantium armor, so he's not as durable and he's not as intelligent as Ultron. Ultron's a living embodiment of a virus, so I have to say, with those things put together, Ultron is much more formidable than Amazo, and Amazo could hold his own against the Justice League. So already the argument there is that Ultron definitely is a lot stronger than Amazo, which means he could hold his own against the Justice League. Now let's talk about preparation time and long time in the fight. So preparation time. If Ultron has preparation time before he faces them, he gets a chance to do his homework, research, yeah, the Justice League is going down. I'm sorry. Like, Ultron is an artificial intelligence. He might modify certain strategies and moves. Now, there's a couple things you can add to that. Remember, Batman has some secret backup plans in case things go south with the Justice League, any of the members or all the members. And Ultron could hack into his system and learn about all those little backup plans or weaknesses. And now you're probably thinking, well, Batman's Batman's actual encryption must be very difficult to get into. Well, remember, Ultron is a living embodiment of a virus. He actually took an entire planet. He even took out, I think when they tried hacking him, some superior minds, he eliminated them in a matter of minutes. So I hate to say, once Ultron gets in, he's in. So he could gain access to the weaknesses or the backup plans that Batman has, the contingency plans, or he can even gain access to Batman's robotic armors. Remember, Batman has the Justice Buster. He has the exoskeleton suit. He's got all kinds of suits that Ultron could hack into. Now, if you remember, or if you're not aware, in the comics, there was one incident where Ultron merged into Tony Stark because Tony Stark was wearing some kind of nano suit that was like almost sewed into his skin. So Tony Stark plus Iron Man's suit was merged into Ultron to make a kind of a modified version of Wasp. Not exactly Wasp, but like love interest of Ant-Man, because obviously Ultron is the creation of Ant-Man, so on and so forth. But anyways, besides the point, yeah, that in itself means that he can gain access to suits, which means that he could easily use those suits to his advantage. He could merge into one of them, or again, go for the backup plans. Now, long fight. Again, Ultron's favor. Ultron will be able to learn his opponents. Being in a long fight with him is not a good idea for the Justice League, but considering the fact that his entire body is made out of adamantium armor, it would be pretty tough to say that he would be easily taken down, considering it actually takes pretty much a cosmic level being to be able to put a dent into adamantium armor. So, with that amount of time that he might have for preparation, or the amount of time he has during a fight against these guys, long-term run, he'll eventually find weaknesses, figure out a strategy, and take them out one by one. So long-term wise, they're doomed. And preparation time, they're doomed. Okay, and just one more thing I'll add is this. Ultron, he doesn't just rely on one robotic thing. He's not just one individual. He's several. He can be any robot. So let's say hypothetically, Ultron's in a battle with Justice League. He could bring extra adamantium armor characters or adamantium robots. He could bring them standing by on the sidelines while he's throwing down with the Justice League. And then every time, let's say they even get through, he could just replace himself, get into the battle again. Or if he gets too over swarm or over I guess he gets closed in, he could always get the robotic backup adamantium armor suits to help him out to kind of keep the Justice League at bay in that sense. So let's get now into the process of elimination. Who would get eliminated first? Now I've decided to pick 8 members of the Justice League. So let me see if I can remember them by heart. We got Batman, we got Green Lantern, The Flash, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Superman, Martian Manhunter, oh yeah, Aquaman. Okay, so let's get it started. All right, let's start off with who would Ultron go for first. You might find this hard to believe, and a lot of people that know me know that I wouldn't want this, but it is what it is. He would probably eliminate Batman first. Now, why eliminate Batman first? People would say, oh, because he's the easiest one, you know? No, it's not because of that. Believe it or not, Batman has been told by someone who can recreate Earths and start universes again that he is one of the most brilliant minds in existence. So I hate to say it, well, I don't hate to say it, but Batman is strategically brilliant, which means that if they keep him around while he's in the battle, regardless of the limited amount of superpowers he has, his brain could actually find a strategy and a way to put down Ultron. So I would say this, that Ultron, obviously knowing that you don't want to keep them with a smart strategy going, eliminate the first thing, which is brains. Batman would be the first thing to go. Now, the second thing, or the second person I believe will be eliminated in the Justice League during this battle is Cyborg. Now, why would I say Cyborg? Cyborg is a very intelligent person. He could more than capable of holding his own. He's got the mother box for a weapon, so he's good to go. Ultron can hack into Cyborg. People will say, well, that's not possible. Ultron hacked into a planet. Okay, he hacked into some superior minds in a matter of seconds. I hate to say it, but yeah, he could probably hack into Cyborg. Cyborg hasn't really been sure of himself when it comes to going into battles with people. Sometimes his robotic side takes the better of him, or he doesn't even know whether he's fully human or fully cyborg. So I hate to say that there is a possibility Ultron could, corrupt him, or he could probably merge with Cyborg, or he could probably destroy Cyborg. He's made out of adamantium. I gotta say, his adamantium armor is gonna definitely penetrate whatever Cyborg's blast is gonna show up, or whatever armor he possesses. He could probably break him into pieces, call it a day in that way. Now, the third person I think he's gonna go after is Martian Manhunter. Why go after Martian Manhunter? Martian Manhunter is a pretty tough character to go against, and he also has that telepathic ability. But get this, Ultron also has telepathic abilities. So both of them going against each other would be very interesting, but I do believe Ultron could control over Martian Manhunter, since Ultron isn't exactly a human. So I guess I don't think Martian Manhunter could control that side of Ultron, but Ultron probably could control the side of Martian Manhunter. Not only that, eventually Ultron will be able to figure out that, Martian Manhunter's physiology, figure out that he's allergic, or not allergic, but weakened by fire, and eventually get into a fight, just blast him to smithereens and call it a day in that way. And then the next people I believe that are going to go next is, you're going to find this hard to believe, but Wonder Woman and Aquaman together. Now, why? Wonder Woman's a demigod. Aquaman is the king of Atlantis. He's also pretty powerful himself. They could hold their own. Well, that is a very fair point to say. Aquaman does have Atlantean technology, which is kind of like very, very superior technology compared to the average things that we have. Along with Wonder Woman having a godly weapons in her corner. But we tend to forget that Ultron has faced somebody with a godly weapon before, which happened to be Thor and his hammer. Thor's hammer can hit you so hard it can destroy universes, planets pretty much. So if it doesn't really do that much damage to Ultron's adamantium armor, yeah, I don't think God weapons or Atlantean tech is going to have any effect on Ultron in this situation as well. I do believe the Atlantean tech will get overpowered eventually, and Aquaman will eventually run out of juice and get taken out in the process. Wonder Woman, she might hold her own for a while, but that shield isn't going to protect her, considering adamantium armor is going to break through it. I think he'll break through a God weapon along with the sword. Sorry to say that those weapons aren't going to do anything, and she's going to get like the full might of Ultron, either a blast or just a straight up brawl beating with the bare knuckle fist of adamantiums being thrown in your face. Wonder Woman eventually is going to go down for the count. Now, a couple other people we got to add up in here. We got Green Lantern. Green Lantern as well is pretty strong. He's a little confident, a little too cocky sometimes when he wants to be. Hal Jordan is what I'm talking about. But let's get real. That will is going to only last for a certain amount of time. Ultron's shield is pretty damn strong itself. Eventually, Green Lantern isn't going to have enough force or power to be able to overpower Ultron. Whether it be force field or trying to attack him directly, I do believe Ultron would be able to use his blast, which is like, I think it's a Zeta-ton blast or something like that. Whatever he shoots, it blows, it attacks pretty damn strong. So I do believe that if he hits him enough with a good force, sorry to say that Green Lantern is going to be eliminated for the count. Or if Ultron wanted to, he could just drain Green Lantern's energy out of him, and then after Green Lantern runs out of juice, just put him down for the count in that way. The last two I'll mention, you obviously know, the Flash and Superman. The Flash obviously is a run for his money because he's super fast, he's hard to catch and everything like that. But eventually, again, you're going to run out of juice. Ultron is an AI, artificial intelligence, which means he's able to figure out strategies and moves to counter maneuver anything, which probably is muscle-bound characters, speedsters. He's fast enough to take on speedsters, or someone in speedsters in their realm, Marvel, which happened to be Quicksilver, and I believe he also took on the Silver Surfer, and Thor speed and Iron Man speed. So I will say this, that he could probably put the Flash out with just figuring out, calculating where he might go or where he might put himself in one situation, pinpoint that, and then find a way in the physics to kind of put him down for the count in that way, officially. And then you obviously got the Man of Steel. This one is gonna be a tough one, but let's get into it. Ultron and Superman are gonna probably be the long run situation. Everybody's down, but Superman and Ultron are gonna go for it for the long run. But even with all the strength and the speed, even with all the extra gear that Superman has in his arsenal with the breath and the heat ray, whatever, it don't mean nothing, because Ultron, again, can absorb energies. So take the fight away from the sun. Obviously, Ultron will be able to figure that out, since he is capable of like doing his work or research on Superman or characters of like Superman. He's obviously super intelligent, which means he can figure things out in a matter of seconds if he needed to. So keep the sun away. Obviously, Superman and Ultron mano a mano. If Ultron wanted to, with the preparation time, he would have found kryptonite, and he would have brought it over, and it would have been a whole end story. But if Ultron, even if, let's say that's not even true, if Ultron wanted to, he could go to Lex Luthor Corp. Obviously, Lex is hiding some form of kryptonite weapon. He can go in there, take it, and just take down Superman in that way. Either way, it don't mean nothing to Ultron, because Ultron at the end of the day can absorb his powers. He can find ways to put Superman down, keep Superman away from the sun. And yeah, I'm sorry to say, with a long period of strategy, the long ending battle, the long ending run of it all, Ultron has got this in the bag. So if you like my argument in this one, you know what you can do? You can hashtag Ultron. And as always, No Press Fam, we really appreciate you guys. Catch you guys later. Peace.